Greetings everyone. The topic for today is related to subject and verb agreement. We know that a subject should agree with its verb which we are using it in a sentence. So what is it? And let's discuss it in detail with the help of examples. But before initiating our lesson, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe it to get more updates related to the lessons which I'll be uploading. So here comes the agreement of the verb with the subject. Over here you can see that a verb must agree with its subject in number and person. Often by what it is called the error of proximity, the verb is made in agree with number with the noun near in instead of with its proper subject. You should be avoided as shown in the following example. As you can see that the quality of the mangoes was not good. So this is the error over here because it is mangoes. So the noun is in plural. The verb should also be used in a plural form. So the introduction of the tea and coffee and such other beverages has not been without some effect. And you can see that his knowledge of Indian vernaculars is far beyond the common. The state of his affairs was such as to cause anxiety to his creditors, and if it were possible to get near when one of the violent volcanic eruptions takes place, we should see a grand sight. So the results of the recognition of these facts are seen in the gradual improvement of the diet of the poor. So a verb must agree with its subject. So you can see over here in the next example that two or more singular nouns or pronouns joined by and require a plural verb. Over here you can see that whenever two or more singular nouns or pronouns are joined by and, it requires a plural verb. So where is the plural verb? Over here you can see that gold and silver are precious metals, though both of them gold and silver. So they are the gold and silver, two nouns, and we are adding it with the conjunction which is and. So for this the verb should be plural, which we are using are instead of is. So fire and water do not agree. Over here we have not used does, we are using do for fire and water because and is used here. For knowledge and wisdom have to have of times no connection. So over here you can see that knowledge and wisdom, two things, knowledge and wisdom, are used and they are joined with and. That's why we have used the modal verb have, not has. So are your father and mother at home? Instead of is, we are using are because father and mother, two nouns, are used here. In him were centered their love and their ambition. So were is used, he and I were playing. Were is used instead of was because he, I, they both are using with the help and they are joined with the help of the and. But if the noun suggests one idea to the mind or refer to the same person or thing, the verb is singular. Now the case is different. We are using and, but if the idea is same, so the verb would be singular, it would not be plural. How it will work, you can see that in the example it is written time and tide waits for no man. So time, tide, two things are used, but it is referring to the same idea. That's why we have mentioned s in waits in order to make it a singular verb. So the horse and the carriage is at the door. We are not using are because of horse and carriage. We are using s because it is referring to the same idea, horse and carriage. Bread and butter is his only food, so bread and butter, again it's the same idea. That's why we are using is instead of are. Honor and glory is this is his reward, so honor and glory, both of them are referring to the same idea again, and that's why we have used is, singular verb. The rise and fall of the tide is due to lunar influence. So over here you can see that rise and fall of the tide is used because it is again referring to the same idea, which is related to rise and fall of the tide. So my friend and benefactor has come. So friend and benefactor, the same thing, the same idea. So again we have used the singular verb has. The novelist and poet is dead. So over here again the same idea, novelist and poet. That's why we have used the verb is instead of are. Now we will move ahead with some another situation or scenario. As you can see that words joined to a singular subject by with as well as etc. are parenthetical and the verb should therefore be put in the singular. So the emphasis is that words joined to a singular subject by with as well as. So with and as well as, again we will use the singular noun. The house with its contents was insured. You are not using were. Why? Because with is used between these two nouns, or it is referring to the house, because the house and again with its content, and the mayor with his councillors again is to be present. We are not using the plural verb. We are supposed to use the singular verb here as well. The ship with its crew was lost, not were lost, because again we are using with the noun with and as well as, so the verb should be in singular form. Silver as well as cotton has fallen in price. So again as well as is used here. So we are using has instead of have. In the next example, you can see that Sanskrit as well as Arabic was taught there. So we are using was for Sanskrit and as well as Arabic, because wherever the two nouns are joined with or as well as, we are supposed to use a singular verb instead of a plural verb. So justice as well as mercy allows it. Over here again as well as it's used to join justice and mercy. That's why we are using allows singular verb. The guidance as well as the love of a mother was wanting. So over here as well as is mentioned, so that's why we have used was, not were. So we have another example. As you can see, whenever we have two or more singular subjects connected by or nor require a singular verb. So the emphasis is that whenever there are two or more singular subjects and they are connected by or nor, or and nor, they require a singular verb. So over here you can see that no book or no nook or corner was left unexplored. So or is used for nook or corner. That's why we are using was instead of were. So our happiness or our sorrow is largely due to our own actions. So happiness or our sorrow, or is used. That's why we are using is, largely due to our own actions. So either the cat or the dog has been there. So over here you can see that cat or is used for again, and the dog has, we are using has singular verb instead of have. So neither food nor water was to be found there. Over here again you can see that for food and water there is in between the nor word which is used. That's why the verb is was, to be found there, not verb. Verb is singular. So neither praise nor blame seems to be affected him. So again over here you can see that nor is used in between praise and blame. That's why we have used the verb which is singular, and it is seems. S is there. Whenever we add s, it will become singular, the verb. So but when one of the subjects joined by or nor is plural, the verb must be plural. Over here the case is a bit different. They're telling you when one of the subjects joined by or nor is plural, the verb must be plural and the plural subject should be placed nearest the verb. As you can see, neither the chairman nor the directors are present. In this example, you can see the chairman is singular, but the directors, S is there, so it's plural. And the second noun where we have S, it should be near the verb and the verb should be in plural. So that's why we have used are, that neither the chairman nor the directors are present. In another case or scenario or situation, you can see that when the subjects joined by or nor are of different persons, the verb agree with the nearer as. Whenever we have a subject and it is joined by or nor, are of different persons. See, they are of different person, but the verb agree with the nearest one, the noun which is near to the verb. So neither he or I am mistaken. So whatever goes with the I, we will use that. So we are using am mistaken. So neither you nor he is to be blamed. So if he is there, it should be singular because it is nearest to that verb. Either you or he. Over here we have different pronouns. You is different and he is different. So that's why he is mistaken. S is used because he is singular. Neither my friend nor I am to be blamed. So over here, because I is nearest to the verb, that's why we are using am. But it is better to avoid these constructions and to write he is mistaken or else I am. You can write in this way as well, or he is not to be blamed nor are you. So you are mistaken or else he is. My friend is not to be blamed nor am I. So you can use these words in this case as well in that situation. So either, neither, this is another point which you have to keep it in mind, that whenever we have either, neither, each, everyone, many, are, must be followed by a singular verb. How they are supposed to be followed with a singular verb, as you can see that in examples it is shown. He asked me whether either of the applicants was suitable. In the point, they are telling you that either, neither, each, everyone, many, are, they must be followed by singular verb. So he asked me whether either of the applicants was suitable. Though in applicants it is s, the verb should be in plural, but the verb is singular. Why it is singular? Because either is used before applicants, either of. In the next example, you can see neither of the men was very strong. Though the men is plural, it's men and the singular is man, but because you can see that neither of is used before this noun. That's why we are using was, we are not using were, we are using singular verb. Each of these substances is found in India. So every over here you can see that each of is used before substances. That's why the verb would be singular and we are using is. Every one of the prisons, okay, every one of the prisons is full. So over here everyone is used before prison, so we are using is, a singular verb, because the prisons was plural, so it doesn't, we are not going to follow that, because we have to see what is used before presence, which is every one of. So in the next example you can see every one of the boys loves to write. So though it is boys, but we can see that every one is used before it, so that's why it is loves, its singular verb is used here. Many a man has done so. So over here, that before a man, so many a man has done. So that's because it was many a, so that's why again the verb is singular, has is used. Then many a man does not know his own good deeds, and in the next example you can see that many a man has succumbed to his temptation. Again the verb is singular, has. In another case, you can see that two nouns qualified by each or every, even though connected by and, require a singular verb. Now the situation is different. They are telling you that whenever we have two nouns and they are qualified by each or every, whenever it's each or every, though they are connected by and, they require a singular verb. So every boy and every girl was given a packet of sweets. Over here, no matter between two nouns, there was the use of and, which we have done previously. And we said that we are supposed to use the plural verb, but now in this case, we are not using the plural verb. The reason is because before each noun, each common noun, we have very. That's why we are using a singular verb. In the next situation, you can see they're telling you in point 116 that some nouns which are plural in form but singular in meaning take a singular verb as. No matter if the noun is in plural form, but the actual meaning which they are conveying, if it is in singular, then the verb which we are using, it should be in singular as well. So the news is true. Over here, the news has s with it, but the idea which it is portraying over here, it is singular, so that's why we are using the verb is, which is singular. In the next sentence, you can see that the politics was with him and with him the business of his life. Okay, over here you can see that the politics s is there, but the idea is singular. That's why we are using the singular verb was. The wages of sin is death. Over here the wages s is there, but the idea is singular. That's why we are using is for the idea. Mathematics is a branch of study in every school. If the physics would be there, if mathematics is there, no matter s is there, but the idea is singular. That's why we are supposed to use a singular verb, which is s, not or was if it is in the past tense, but we are not supposed to use are, or we are not supposed to use were. In 117, you can see that pains and means take either the singular or the plural verb, but the construction must be consistent as. How it should be consistent? Great pains have been taken. All possible means have been tried. Much pains has been taken. The means employed by you is sufficient. Over here in the sense of the income, the word means always take a plural verb. So whenever the means is portraying the meaning of income, so it will take a plural verb. My means were, not my means is or are. My means were much reducing owing to that heavy loss. So over here in the first sentence, means the meaning of means is more related to the income. That's why were is used. And in the second example, his means are simple. So over here you can see that means are again a sort of income. Over here the meaning is portraying a sort of income. That's why we are using the plural verb. In 118, it is depicting that some nouns which are singular in form but plural in meaning takes a plural verb. So now it is a different case that whenever this noun is singular but the meaning which they are conveying or portraying it is plural, so the verb should be plural as well. And according to the present market rate, 12 dozen cost 100 rupees. So this is an example for this. And none, though properly singular, commonly taken as a verb, as you can see that none are so deaf as those who will not fear, and crows are amongst the greatest of breathing creatures. None show more passionate and tenderness to their young. So over here that none, though properly singular, commonly takes a plural verb. Though they are singular, but they will take the plural verb with them, which you have used in the above examples, that none are and cows are amongst. Okay, over here in the next scenario, you can see that a collective noun takes a singular verb with the collection is thought of as one as whole. Though we are using the collective noun, but they are referring to the same, you can say, thought of as one whole. That's why the verb which we are using, plural verb, when the individual of it is composed, are thought of as. So you can see that in this point they're telling you the collective noun takes a singular verb when the collection is thought of as one whole, and when it will take the plural verb when the individual of which it is composed are thought of as. So the committee has issued its report. The committee, it's the same idea, so that's why we are using has, but the committee are divided on one minor point. Whenever they are making as a whole a thought idea, whenever there is a unity, we will use a singular verb. Whenever there is no unity and they are being divided or something, that's why in the second example that the committee are divided on one minor point, division is there, there is no unity, that's why are is used, the plural verb is used. But we must be consistent, thus we should say the committee has appended a note to its, or you can say not their report. In the next example, you can see in point 121. Over here, you can see that when the plural noun is a proper name for some single object or some collective noun, a unit, it must be followed by singular verb. So they are emphasizing on the point that whenever the plural noun is a proper name for some single object, so or some collective noun, it must be followed by singular verb. See the Arabian Nights. What is it? It's a you can say it's a collective or plural noun over here. So is used, which is a singular verb. So they have said this thing earlier, that whenever the plural noun is a proper name for some single object, so it's a proper name. If we are using Arabian Nights, again it's a proper name for a book or a novel, so it's still a great value. And the United States has a big navy over here. In United States, S is there, but again it's a, you can say, a proper name. And next we have Gulliver's Travels was written by Swift. Again we are using was instead of were because it's again a proper name for something. So it doesn't mean S is written, so we are supposed to use the plural verb. No, the singular verb is used. Why? Because it's a proper name for something. Or aside, you can say some collective noun is used, so you can use it there. In last point, you can see that in 122, when a plural noun denotes some specific quantity or amount considered as a whole, the verb is generally singular. How you can say that how a plural noun, whenever it is denoting some specific quantity or amount. See, you can see in an example that 15 minutes is allowed to each speaker. It is decided and it has been clear that 15 minutes, 15 is mentioned, so it is specified. That's why we are using the plural verb. 10 kilometers is a long walk. Again, for if the only kilometers would be there, so we can use the plural verb, but they have specified it at how much kilometers are there. 10 kilometers are there, so is used, the plural verb is used. And 50,000 rupees is a large sum. Three parts of the business is left for me to do. Over here you can see that in all examples that 50,000 rupees, if only 1,000 rupees, with how many thousand rupees? 50, because they have specified the amount. That's why the verb which we are using is singular, is. And three parts of the business, how many parts of the business? If only business would be there, then the verb would be different. It could be the plural form of the verb, but whenever they are specifying something that only three parts of the business is left for me to do, three parts is specified. That's why we have used is, or you can say that we have used singular verb. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel for further updates related to IELTS, PT, English grammar and English language lessons. Thank you.